Welcome back to the third episode of building my game room from scratch. In this episode, I'm going to try and actually start putting this room together. It has been a long process so far, but I think it's finally time we start getting some TVs and games set up within this room and in this space. All right, so funny enough, this should be, I think, the hardest part of this entire build, which is going to be this right here. Cube storage. Decided to go with that. I'm gonna put it right over here. It's not exactly what I wanted for this room as far as like shelving for the TVs and systems and stuff, but I think it's just gonna be the most economical and easy solution. But I'm not gonna record putting this together. I just know it's gonna take forever, so I'll check back in once it's done. All right, much like I predicted, that was the most time-consuming part of this so far, but it's done, and let's set her up. All right, here's where we're at. So I ended up moving all the TVs in just to kind of get a lay of the land. I don't know if it's too much. This might be a little bit too much. I'm gonna try living in the space for a while. I gotta set up all the systems and everything, but I'm gonna try it just to see what it's like. Maybe give it a month and just see if it feels too claustrophobic with all this stuff in. I really like how the big TV looks in the corner with the corner stand, so I think I'm gonna keep that for sure. It's just these two that I don't know what to do with. One of the problems is that it's a little bit narrow for these TVs. They kind of stick out the back, particularly on the sharp. It is a little small for this. It's structurally it's nice because it holds them just fine. The problem is that they just don't have a whole lot of room, and that makes me a little bit nervous. I do need a gap behind the TV anyways for cables and cords and whatnot. So that's the next task, is setting everything up and just seeing how it feels. Then I'm going to start throwing posters and stuff up on the walls. So yeah, that's kind of the update for the room today.
Need the holistic experience, but I always recommend when you are looking at your backlog, start with what's the smallest, because taking off the stuff while doing that, taking the big home run swing.
Pizza deal. 2 large pizzas for $4.99 each. You get a pizza. You get a pizza. We all get pizza. Pizzas for $4.99 each. Oh, wait, no. Citrus is the real deal.
That's the thing I've been doing. I've picked out my selection tremendously. It's why I've never had to buy more shelves in this room, because it's tough out there. Be wary of the vibe pricing, is what I call it. I'm going to speak very good games become the viral hit, and suddenly this $20, maybe $30 game on GameCube is a multi-$100 game. This is not sustainable at all. And it all happens because one person says, oh my god, this is all the rage. I'm going to jack up my prices. And then everyone else doesn't want to actually make positive change, but no one does because greed is hope. And I started this because it's not I gave myself this year is that if I shop responsibly, retro manuals in there, collectibles, and it's limited. It's the perfect model for people like us where you jump in because it's don't look crazy, I know, but that actually might be for the best because you sat in their plastic on my shelf. I started this in the back. But when you actually go to make that big purchase, it's probably because you're actually ready to go and play it versus I'm gonna get on this now, I'm gonna put it on my shelf, and I'm never gonna touch it again. I have Fern, I have Coatsworth, like I have things I think to you. You don't need to start with limited run games or sealed games. Like start.
All right, so here's the solution to my problem. It is a 4-foot long 12 plug extension cord or extension brick. I was a little worried about this because I only had, I don't know if you can see, a couple little ones back there, and I didn't think it was going to work, and I don't think it will. So I bought 2 of these giant ones, and that should be enough for now at least. The other issue I was having is my switchers and how I'm going to hook these up. I have one component switcher here. It's an automatic component switcher. And then I have 2 analog, just ketchup and mustard with S-video switchers. It's a long story, but basically the whole reason I want to keep this Sony is because it has component video. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is actually take my other Trinitron here and either do an RGB or a component mod on this TV. And that'll really free up a lot of real estate and what I can do. So I think that's going to be the next project that I have to work on. I'm just trying to decide if I really want to go that route or not. So TBD, but for now I'm going to hook up all the consoles and all the power cables and see if I can at least get stuff turned on. I already know the cable management is going to be a disaster. Here is currently where we're at with the 2 power strips. I just plugged in all of the cables for the power for all the systems, just because I wanted to kind of manage what the cable management was going to look like. So it looks pretty okay. It should be, I should have plenty of room back here, and obviously I have plenty of outlets now. But that's the idea there. I took the TVs down, and I'm actually going to, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to be doing a component mod for this Trinitron right here. So I don't want to hook up all the AV cables until that's done. I'm bringing it to get done tomorrow, and then once that's done, I can hook up all the AV cables and get everything run. They're all sitting over there right now and just a mess, but that's the idea. I kind of put all these together using these just on Amazon. They're little Velcro clips. I'm sure you've seen them before. They work really good, actually. So I did most of that. I'll have some cleaning up to do, and I have to push this table back again. But for now, I'm actually pleased with how it looks. It'll take a little bit more organization, but yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so before I get this TV set up, this room's a mess. I've been kind of using this room intermittently while this TV is getting worked on. But before I get this set up, I just wanted to show you what was done to it. So what ended up happening was I had somebody add component video to this TV. So what that means is we can use the green, blue, and red component cables with this TV, and it looks excellent. I opted against RGB SCART for now. I may go back and do that later, but for now this is what we have. I showed you before what the composite video looks like, so I'm gonna rig this up real quick and just show you what component looks like. So I'm here messing with this TV. I got it in the service menu right now. Let's give you guys a little better look. This TV looks fantastic over component. The geometry is a little bit off. It's just slightly off, and I'm still working on getting it straightened up. You can see it's shifted a little bit to the left. That's why I'm in the service menu right now. So I'm messing with a couple of things here. I'm going to do a full review on this TV, but I just kind of wanted to show you what, the differences here with the component video versus the composite video that we showed you before. So there you go. There's that. And then now I can finally start officially putting this room together, getting the cable situation all sorted, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So let's do it. So I decided to go with this component switch here off Amazon. This is not the permanent solution, but it's something so that we can get this rolling. I have another automatic switcher that I have had for years, and I really like this switcher a lot, actually. It's got both component and S-video, but right now it's hooked up to the other bigger Sony, and I'm probably going to keep it that way. The only reason is because this TV has S-video input, and the other Sony does not. So I'm going to leave that switcher hooked up to this TV with the Xbox, the VCR, and some other random things that can be used there. And then for this, it'll mostly just be retro systems using this mechanical switcher. Eventually we will find a better solution for this, but for now, this is just what's going to have to work. God dang it. All right, so another quick update here. I'm getting pretty close. I've got all the systems and all the TVs situated for the most part. The big TV was kind of the pain because I have to have the switcher kind of outside of the cabinet. I could adjust things, but yeah, I kind of like it like that. Got all the cables kind of tucked away. I'll have to do a little bit more cable management. This wall looks so bare right now. I hate it. I want to get more posters. I just don't have enough. I'd like to cover this whole wall with posters, and then this wall, I'd kind of like to get. I like collecting movies, VHS movies, and stuff like that. So I'd like to put those kind of on this wall. The only problem is the couch is here, so I don't know if I want to have the movies kind of right behind where you're sitting, because that's a little bit, a little bit scary. So, anyways, I have all the game systems and all the TVs hooked up. I kind of showed a little bit of how this was working. I don't like the switcher situation, but that's just how it's going to have to be for now until I decide to upgrade to something a little bit more modern, we'll say. Also, some of the systems I just don't have the cables for. I have the NES down here that is still just a stock NES. But right up here, I do have a top loader NES, and actually there is an RGB mod kit inside of that wrapping. So eventually I'll be doing the RGB mod, or it'll be a component out mod that will be able to hook up to the component modded TV. So once I get that situation figured out, I'll rehook that up. But otherwise, for now, kind of all the stuff I have is on the component TV with the switchers, the Wii, the Genesis, and the Xbox original. So that's all that's hooked up to it now. But it will be the NES, the SNES, and then if I ever decide to go the route of if they ever release the cables for the Dreamcast, that will also be components. So that will have to be a switcher situation that we'll deal with. I have room for one more right now. That will be the SNES once I get the RGB cables or the component cables for the SNES. But for now, it's just running on this guy, which is fine because that's all I really wanted for now. I have to figure out another solution too for the big TV up here because I had the switch hooked up. My wife and I were playing some Animal Crossing, and the cable, the HDMI cable that runs off the side, I just don't like the way it looks when it comes down. I had to take it down, but I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I didn't want to cut through the wall. I put all the work in to get the outlet up here, but I didn't think far enough ahead as to, okay, well, what happens when I have to plug in an HDMI cable? Didn't get there. No big deal, though. We'll, if it needs to be. For now, it's just sitting down here. Oh, that's the other thing. This is an absolute jungle back here, and I don't even want to think about it right now. But eventually what I'm going to have to do is, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but you can see all this through this absolute rainforest of cables behind all the systems. I think what I'm going to do is get some backing material for each of these squares that'll just sit on the back side. I don't know if it'll be like a fabric or if I have this other shelf here, but they have like these square, rectangle pieces of paper, basically is what they are, that you can put. But I think I just want to get that covered up so that it's not such an eyesore. Some people don't care. I really want it to look nice, and right now it doesn't. So that's also on the list. But yeah, this is kind of where we're at right now. Got the computer set up. That's going to be a whole another thing. I plan on getting a new computer sometime soon. So that's, again, on the list of things to do. It's just going to be a time and money thing right now. So yeah, that's a little bit of an update. We're getting there. We're slowly but steadily making progress. The next thing is going to be putting games on the shelf, and then deciding what I want to do for the movies. Alright guys, so as I finish up putting my games away here, I just want to do a quick little outro here. I think I'm going to do one more episode of the game build. I'm putting the games away, but I want to have a little bit more time to set up the room. So for now, we're going to end this episode and hopefully come back with one more final, here is my game room. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and stay tuned for next time to see how everything turns out.